IVM.
Hey, if you're listening to this show, which means you like listening to our voices, you like listening to the voices of IVM staffers, and we do another really cool show. It's called IVM Daily. It's out every day, and we talk about stuff from the news, our opinions about things, things happening in pop culture, things happening in our lives, and various other things. So do tune in every day. It's called IVM Daily, and it's available on the IVM Podcast app, the IVM website, and pretty much wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of IVM Likes. I am Surbhi, and in the studio with me today is Jaanam.
Hi.
And Abbas.
Hello.
Hello, the usual suspects. What's up? What's happening?
What's happening?
It is the 31st of December, and we're all are we all looking forward to the new year? Guys, come on.
I just want this day to get over.
Oh, okay. What about you, Abbas? How are you feeling today?
Looking forward, yes. I surprisingly woke up like very early today.
Yeah.
What time is it?
I can tell. Abbas is really proud today.
I had breakfast, guys. I actually had breakfast and
You
had
made
breakfast.
it?
Yeah.
What did you make?
I made coffee and toast.
That's great.
I know.
Wow.
Progress.
That is really cool.
And I was here 5 minutes late, but that's still better than what I usually
Alright, let's not get into timings, okay guys? Okay, let's see what we have in store today. We're going to give you some recommendations, stuff that we've been watching, stuff that you can watch if you have no plans for the New Year's.
Or read.
Or
Yeah.
Or listen to.
Yeah.
Basically, just, fill that void with pop culture. And in the second round, we are going to be talking about Bird Box,
Yes.
that movie. Cool. Let's get into the recommendations. Abbas, what do you have to recommend?
I'm recommending a novel which is now a Netflix original series. The second or third one from India.
What are you really recommending, the novel or the series?
I have just
Let's
seen
be
one
real.
episode of the series, so I can't really speak about it. But the book I've read, it's a very good book. It's called Selection Day. It's by Arvind Adiga broke.
That guy.
That guy. He won the Booker Prize for The White Tiger, which is the favorite book of every roadside seller in India. You'll always find a copy of White Tiger.
Has anybody read that book in the studio?
No.
I have, yeah.
Oh, of course, Abbas. How's the book?
It's good, so I'll talk about it because there are some common themes between that book and Selection Day. So, in a nutshell, Selection Day is about these two brothers who has a very demanding father, and he wants both of them to play for the Indian cricket team. One of the brothers is a little more talented than the other one, and they come from a kind of a poor background. The father is a chutney seller, but and the mother has left them in the book. I believe in the show it's a little different. So it's about this South Indian family from Karnataka who's moved to Bombay to pursue this, and the entire book has shifting narratives. So like one chapter will be from one character's point of view, the other from the other one. And how there is a lot of politics in the domestic level on which cricket is played. Like forget the international level, just the basic school level and district level at which cricket is played. And
Are both these guys like batsmen, bowlers?
they're
like
both
what?
batsmen, yeah.
Okay.
They're both at various points compared to Sachin Tendulkar because being a bowler in cricket is considered like a thankless job. Like you're never going to be a star if you're a bowler. You can only be a star if you're a batsman. So everything from the corruption to the way to think about it, cricket is such a famous game in India, such a popular game, and every year like tens of thousands of boys and girls want to break into the team, but only 11 can make it, right?
Yeah.
So the odds are always against whoever wants to break into the team. So it's about people who invest in the games. Like there is a character which is this rich Gujarati businessman from South Bombay who's investing in these boys for them to make it big. So when the focus shifts to him, the point of view is from this very rich Gujarati businessman who lives in Marine Drive. Then
Ambani, basically.
Kind of, yeah. When it shifts to these boys, they're living in a slum somewhere in Vasai, right? And then when they do a little better, they move to Chembur in an apartment. So it's about the aspirations of the people who are below the poverty line and how they see rich people in Bombay. It's from the rich people's point of view, how they live their life with so much comfort but don't really give a second thought about the poor people. And that's kind of a common theme from The White Tiger. The White Tiger was about this driver of a very rich person, and it was an internal monologue of this driver who gets to drive an expensive car, goes every day to this amazing house of this rich person, but his personal life, he can't afford any of that. So how is it for these people who see the inner lives of really rich people, but they know they can never afford it? So yeah, Selection Day, I won't spoil the ending for you because it's a very roller coaster ride these brothers go through. Parts of it are also very funny because these are teenage boys, so they're also dealing with raging hormones and adolescence. But they also have the pressure of breaking into the Indian cricket team. So yeah,
so it's on Amazon.
It's on Netflix. I was a little taken aback by the fact that in the show they've made the family from Madhya Pradesh rather than Karnataka. But I guess because Arvind Adhika, who's written this book, is from Karnataka, he could write a little better about the diaspora. But I don't know.
Was Arvind a part of the whole process, like converting?
He was,
this into
I think,
screenplay?
right from selling the rights to the formation of the project.
Yeah.
I think it might be because they wanted to make it in Hindi, and to show a South Indian family speaking Hindi would be a little awkward, so they made them from a Hindi speaking family. But yeah, Selection Day, it's a good book, so check it out.
It's on. Oh, the book's on.
The book is available wherever books are sold. Yeah,
but you can totally watch it on Netflix. Jaanam, what are you up to? What have you been watching?
I'm going to recommend this movie called Nocturnal Animals. It's on Netflix. Yeah.
Like the minutes before the end of the studio, you said you were going to be recommending this other movie.
Yeah, but I changed my mind. I want to recommend Nocturnal Animals because it's more fresh in my mind.
This one, it's been on my to-watch list for a while.
Is it a horror movie?
No, not at all. It's not horror, but it is...
psychological thriller.
Yeah, and it is... there is a lot of violence in it.
Just like you would like it.
Yes. So the movie has Jake Gyllenhaal and Amy Adams and Isla Fisher.
It's Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Gyllenhaal.
Oh, damn.
Is it a GIF or a GIF, guys? Honestly.
It's a GIF.
It's a GIF or a GIF?
GIF and
It's a
all,
GIF.
more like.
GIF and all.
GIF. Okay, so what? Okay. Anyway, so Amy Adams is married to... she used to be married to Jake Gyllenhaal, but he is... Like, they're separated for like 19-20 years. And she's moved on. She's like living with somebody else in this like fancy-ass bungalow mansion kind of a thing.
I really like Amy Adams.
And yeah, man, she's brilliant in this film, like most of her movies. But... yeah, and the plot is that Jake is a writer. He's always been this aspiring author. So he finally finishes the novel he's writing and he mails it to Amy, who starts to read it, and before she opens the book and starts reading it, they show what her current life is like, and she's already facing some troubles in her life, in her personal life, and she's not really doing really well. So she opens the book, she starts reading, and she gets into it. It's a deeply gripping book, I would say.
Is it like while she's reading the book, we see the story play out on screen?
Yeah. Okay. So it's parallel. Like they keep showing scenes from the book, and then they show like
what
her current life.
Yeah. Okay.
And they also show. At the same time, there's also a narrative going on where they show Amy's past life.
Okay.
About how she met Jake and issues she has with her mother. And yeah, I mean, she has a troubled relationship with her mother. And like the whole parallel thing of the story running and her current life, the scenes are shot where, it's kind of
blend into
it's like similar shots are in the story as well as her current life.
Okay, nice.
So the whole
but it's super gripping. It sounds
it is, and yeah, like she's really the what I like about this.
Did it freak you out a little bit?
Kind of. There was one scene where I got a little. There was a jump scare suddenly. I was like, what the hell? Yeah,
nice.
It's quite good. And what I liked about this film is she really gets into the book that she's reading, and she's so moved by it. Like, she actually writes him an email and says like, hey, she reaches out to him and they try to meet up like 20 years later. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Check it out. It's called Nocturnal Animals.
Where is it again?
Netflix.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's convenient. I think I'm going to watch it. Netflix has another psychological thriller, by the way.
What's it called?
It's called You.
Okay.
It's a TV.
Me?
Yeah,
It's called Abbas.
I'm recommending
Google
you.
it.
But have you guys? I bet you guys have seen trailers or like, 'cause
Yeah.
it's like it's on the top.
Yeah, it
the
showed
front
up on
page
my
Netflix.
banner as soon as I logged in.
Oh.
It seems, I mean, the reason I didn't check it out was it seems very 50 Shades-ish.
No, that's
No?
what I don't know what I thought when I clicked on it again. Like,
Okay.
it's super gripping. So the first episode also, I was like, oh, let me give it like 5 minutes. If I don't like it, I'll stop it. But it's super. I don't
In
know.
5 minutes, you were
In
hooked.
5 minutes, I was hooked. I was like, what's going to happen?
Wow.
Because it starts off like it's not a normal progression of how we see other TV show series starting. And it's been a while since I've started a TV series. Like I only start movies, like
Right.
or go back to 30 Rock. So, but like for this show, it was super gripping from the get-go. Like the setup is super different. It looks like so in the beginning, it looks like a QTC setup. Like it's a book manager. Like this guy his name is Joe, and he is played by the actor Penn Badgley, whatever.
Badgley, yeah.
Bagley. Maybe, yeah.
All right, we're pronouncing all names wrong in this episode. Please excuse us.
Engineer, just take whichever pronunciation is correct.
But yeah, so this guy is a book manager, and he's really into books. And a girl walks in. So a girl walks in the bookstore, and then it starts out with like a setup where he likes her and he has a crush on her. But then it takes a turn and how. Because this guy, basically, this is a good show to realize how social media is a trap. And it's so easy to invade into people's privacy and find out everything about them based on their social media.
Right.
Yeah, so he gets obsessed with her in a way that he wants to remove any obstacle that comes in between him and her. So even if it means removing a person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like
so
killing a person?
yeah.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, not to spoil things, but that will happen. But yeah, it's a gripping show in a way. And you know what? People are comparing it to Gone Girl. They're like, this is the guy version of Gone Girl. Because so that's why I'm kind of like, it is kind of like Gone Girl because every
I'm still
little
reading
detail.
the book.
You still?
Oh, I'm still reading the book.
Okay.
Gone Girl. I haven't gotten
Yeah.
around to watching the movie yet.
But every little detail that you can find from social media can be used against you and can be used to find out where you are, basically get off the internet, guys.
Then we can't watch you.
That is true. If you want to watch you, go on Netflix. It's a good show. I mean, I've seen 2 episodes and I'm already recommending
Yeah.
it. So go ahead and watch it. And let's take a quick break. And on the other side, we're going to be talking about Bird Box. See you. Bye. We can't see you because our eyes are blind.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another awesome week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please make sure that you do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We had a Christmas party in the office last week, and you can see pictures of that on our Instagram this week, so please do make sure that you do check it out. On the Seen and the Unseen, Amit has world-famous author and psychologist Steven Pinker as his guest. Yes, that's right, Steven Pinker. They discuss the state of the world today and how it compares to previous generations. On Geek Fruit, Tejas and Dinkar review Aquaman and tell you their top 3 scenes from the DC universe. That's going to be fun. This week on The Habit Coach, Ashton talks about how listening to podcasts helps you grapple with interesting ideas and thought processes. On Croc Tales, Anand narrates a story of Shrikant who falls in love with triplet sisters. Don't miss out on the climax, there's an interesting plot twist at the end. On Varta Lab, Naveen and Akash talk to the creators of card game Cards Against Sanskar, Adrita Das and Karan Vora. This week on the Pragati podcast, Pawan discusses how India is increasing access to finance and microfinance for all its citizens. This week on Football Twaddle, the boys discuss the Mourinho sacking and the return of old gunner Solskjaer. And guys, it's been a great 2018 and we hope you enjoyed your journey with IVM. We're looking forward to bigger and better things in 2019. Please do tell a friend about the podcast that you've enjoyed. Try and spread the word. That's very important for us. And with that, let's continue on with your show.
And welcome back. Surbhi and Jaanam and me are still in the studio. And in this half, we're going to talk about this Netflix original movie that just dropped. It's called Bird Box. It stars Sandra Bullock. And it's a horror/thriller film. And all of us saw it over the weekend. So let's get into what we thought about it, guys.
All right.
Some first
Even
impressions.
if you've not seen it yet, I'm sure you've seen the memes.
No, but
There
there
are
are.
enough
This
memes.
is not a spoiler-proof discussion, guys.
Yeah, we're
If
going to
you-
spoil
yeah,
things.
there's
So
yeah.
spoiler alert.
Thanks, Abbas. Okay, so I watched it on Wednesday, post work. When
Right.
did you guys watch it? Do you have a fresher memory of it?
It's very interesting. So a lot of people have been comparing this to A Quiet Place.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Oh my god.
So I saw A Quiet Place on Friday and I saw this on Sunday.
You haven't seen Quiet
Wait,
Place?
I
where
haven't
did
seen
you
The
watch
Quiet
A Quiet Place?
Places?
Oh my
Quiet
god.
Places.
Have you seen The Quiet Place?
I haven't. That's why I asked him, like, where did he watch it?
But if you have, I bet the listeners have seen it.
Yeah.
Because I had seen it when it released, and the whole, what do you call it? Not the premises, but the trope seems very like Quiet Placey. Like, oh, she couldn't talk, and like
only
Emily
Bird
Blunt
Box
couldn't
is
talk.
based on a book that predates A Quiet Place.
Fine, whatever. But
And-
it feels like too close. They're not far apart enough to like, because people will notice the commonality.
It's like one of the senses have been
Yeah,
shut and
shut.
you
Yeah,
have to,
that's
like,
about
work
it.
around
Other than
it.
that, I think they're two quite different films. And I think Quiet Place is a better directed film, superior film.
Yeah?
It
Yeah.
is. It is a much better movie than Bird Box. I feel like the climax is much better.
Oh,
and
yes.
like,
Even the beginning of
yeah.
So I took my notes down, and the
Okay.
very first, like the first scene, Sandra Bullock, like a video game, she's just pretty much telling you the entire,
Yeah.
you don't take the blindfold off, you do
Yeah.
everything I say, everything, which is basically her telling to the audience, this
yeah.
is what the movie is going to be.
Yeah.
Whereas A Quiet Place did a brilliant opening sequence, and I'm
Yeah,
not going to spoil
yeah,
it for you,
yeah.
Jaanam, but they have a scene in a grocery
how
store.
they're walking very quietly.
Yeah, for the first 4 minutes or so, they're just setting up what it's going to be.
Also, because you know what? I mean, sure, they didn't do the whole setup of like telling the audience,
Yeah.
but the movie is called The Quiet Place. So you
Sure.
kind of know that it is about, so you
Yeah.
can't talk much in this movie.
Right. But
Yeah.
what first impression, like, what did you think? What did you like it or did you not like it?
I liked the movie. It's definitely gripping. I would recommend it. I would
Right.
recommend
It
people
has
to watch
broken
it.
the record, dude. Netflix, a lot of people have watched it around like
Yeah.
I feel like Netflix just comes
45
up.
million accounts.
Why do you
watched
think
Bird
that is
Box.
though? Is it because Sandra Bullock or
Holidays.
Sandra Bullock also a little bit.
Sandra Bullock also, and Netflix has this time frame where last year they released what's the Will Smith film Bright around the same time.
yeah.
So they have this very nice Christmas New Year block where they know people will tune in. People
which is why we
at
watch.
home,
Yeah, that is
at
true.
home with their family. They want to watch stuff.
And
so,
then
yeah.
on a normal week, I wouldn't have started the show but like right now I'm so free. Like I just feel like consuming
Yeah.
pop culture.
Yeah.
So I
But as a family movie, this is a little dark, don't you think? Like,
It is,
or
sure.
are people getting
is it a family
comfortable
movie? Do they say
with?
it's a family movie?
I don't know. It is about parenthood and family. I don't know if it's very suitable for kids though.
Yeah.
It
Man,
is a
I
very.
really
it is
hated
a-
one of the kids. Oh my god, the gal, the girl. Oh, it's
That
so
was-
nice. We don't have to remember names of the. They
I
were
put it
called
down.
girl
Like,
and
boy and girl, really? Okay, before we go into details, let me just set up the premise of the film for people who have or haven't seen. If you're listening to this, we're going to spoil the shit out of it for you. But it's about this woman called Mallory who is with 2 children, and she's on a boat on a river, and she has to get from point A to point B. Only thing is that neither of them can see anything. They're blindfolded, and they can't take the blindfolds off and look
Yeah.
outside. And why that is happening happens parallelly, where they flash back to 5 years before and actually show us
That is
what.
not a spoiler at all. You can
That is not a
just tell
spoiler,
me.
yeah. I mean, they show us what exactly happened. There's an apocalypse-like situation that has happened where something in the sky is happening, and when people look at it, they want to commit suicide.
Yeah, they
right?
want to kill themselves.
Now, I didn't know anything about this. Like, this film wasn't on my radar at all. And then Stephen King tweeted about it, saying, really enjoyed Bird Box. It's on Netflix. Don't read the reviews, watch it. And I was intrigued because Stephen King is my favorite author, right? And when I watched the movie, the premise of the film Bird Box is very similar to 2 of Stephen King's novels. He's written this short story called The Mist, where a mysterious mist takes over the city, and nobody can go out because whoever goes out doesn't come back. So there's a group of strangers who are trapped in a grocery store, which is very similar to the premise of this, where the group of strangers are trapped in a house. And he's written this other book last year called Sleeping Beauties, where a mysterious virus has broken out and only women are getting affected. And if they go to sleep, they get wrapped in a cocoon and they just don't wake up, right? So very Stephen King-like premises.
It is, but
This
like
mist thing reminds me a lot of Annihilation. If you remember that.
Annihilation,
mist.
of course, takes it to a very
Yeah.
next level, but The Mist, which was a short story, was very, very like pure horror. You can't go out, otherwise you'll die. So how do you survive, kind of a thing.
Right.
There was a movie made about that as well.
Really?
Yeah. So I really enjoyed it's a 2-hour movie. I really enjoyed the first hour. the oncoming of the whole thing. I was really surprised to see Sarah Paulson as her sister. I think she does.
And there were so many horse jokes. Oh my god! I can't. I feel like those the freshest in my memory. All the horse jokes.
So everything from them establishing how the thing happened, that whole thing where they're trapped in a house and they have to coexist. That entire stretch of the movie I really loved because
I also like the whole setup where they basically the movie tells you Mallory is not someone who like gets it, like, you know, she doesn't like getting attached to people, and how she's very distant, and even like she likes calling, like it goes to prove because she calls her like kids boy and girl.
So I really like John Malkovich, who plays this real asshole.
Yes,
the owner of the house,
the
bald guy,
the bald guy. And of course, he doesn't want anyone to come in his house. He's very skeptical of everything.
Yeah, I think they make the audience want to hate him in the first half, like thoda starting mein, and then they realize, oh, maybe he was right.
But then the moment they started doing that, I was like, sure, he's gonna have his moment. He's come up and later on in the movie, which does happen. And there is that line where that little part where they have to go from the house to the grocery store, and they black out their windows. I think that was very well done. I mean, it was it was very suspenseful. Like they're out now. What will happen? They are in a car.
That was a good scene.
That was a good scene.
Because
even how the car is like bumping into things and like
you
know it's squishing bodies, but they don't like.
That did take the story forward, because like otherwise you'd be like, oh, now we're all stuck in this home, I guess. But like that move was nice.
And when they reach the grocery store, the John Malkovich character says, "Let's make the end of the world great again." I'm like, yeah, of course he's a Trump supporter. But
also he goes straight for the alcohol. Supermarket, but
what? Okay, so going on to the second half. So first half was obviously more gripping, and obviously because also everyone was trying to figure out what's really happening.
Exactly, and it plays to the horror movie tropes where like bunch of strangers stuck together, all of them are dying one by one. Also, we are seeing the future where it's just her and her two kids, so we know nobody survived. So you're kind of very interested to know how exactly they all started dying.
Did you guys ever feel that? So like when Sandra Bullock is pregnant and then another pregnant woman enters the house, I was kind of feeling like, what if this mysterious mist does not affect pregnant women? What if it's like that?
No.
Because she made her way, and then remember when Sandra Bullock, somebody like this bald guy's wife, went out to help her. She, even though she was out, like Sandra Bullock was out, and she wasn't even shutting her eyes. She was. So I thought, what if there's a plot point where like pregnant women are not harmed by this? But like,
I actually thought the exact opposite, where I was like, maybe these pregnant women will give birth to something which is going to be really horrifying.
Oh my god!
I actually thought that Sandra Bullock's kids will die and the other woman will have twins, and those two kids were
adopted by Sandra. That crossed my mind also.
Really? I can't believe you guys been thinking about the babies.
I mean, at the end it's just three of them, right? So
okay, if you could
always wondering whose kid is it, because you know there are two pregnant women and
that is
then
true.
At one point I thought, did Sandra Bullock's character have twins? Like I was also I was
like fraternal twins, that's what he called them.
Fraternal.
It's like that's a very lucky thing to happen in an apocalypse.
But
what really irritated me, there's this drug addict and a cop who hook up in the house, and then just take a car and then they leave, and we don't see anything about them. I was like, we'll see them sometime in the future. What happened to them? There's nothing.
Died. Oh shit! Yes, I think there's another movie coming about them.
They're gonna do a spin-off.
But okay, so for those guys, I don't know.
The apocalypse hookup.
you know when it's the apocalypse and you have to apocalypse zone someone. Just only going to do it with you when it's the apocalypse. That was quite weird because nobody ran after those losers.
Exactly. I mean, they couldn't.
But I thought at one point they will come back when there are people still outside roaming around and maybe they have been affected or haven't.
So this has actually been criticized. So the impression the film gives is that those people are mentally insane, because there is a line about the fact that there is an asylum where people have broken out, and these mentally insane people are not affected by this. In fact, they become like the proselytizers who are like, you have to see. So there's been criticism of the film treating mental illness as this throwaway thing where it's like they'll just fall for.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, that is really true. Yeah, because they're like, oh, they enjoy it because, they're bad in the head. They're insane. But which is so, yeah. They should have cleared this point up, They should be like, they enjoy it because maybe they've seen some trauma already, or like they, I don't know,
something
like a better
like that,
justification that they're mad.
And then, of course, the guy in the blue suit who comes in the house.
Yeah. What is that guy's name, man? I hate him.
I've been trying to Google his name and I can't find it.
Wait, let's just call him asshole.
Exactly. The moment he entered the house, we're like, bad news. Like, at that point, I was on John Malkovich's side. I'm like, just throw him out.
I literally hated, what's that girl, the other pregnant girl? Daniel McDonald. I hated that she got Olympia. How is she so insane? She's the mentally insane one. She got that other dude inside.
No, but she says, right?
Yeah.
She let him inside because that happened. She knows what it's like to be out,
it's still
stranded
not a good
out there.
justification.
But also her character is very soft and she's not really.
And she jumps out of the window, like the glass window.
Yeah, it was hardcore.
But okay, honestly, I remember the scenes begin, like before the blue suit guy enters, she's just like it takes her 1 minute to convince her. Like it takes, like the other guy outside it takes him 1 minute to convince her to get him in. Cause like she's like, oh, you're outside. Okay, shut your. Do you have a blindfold on? Okay, come in, I guess.
No, but she's supposed to be the naive character, right?
I don't buy this.
That's how she's portrayed.
The blue suit guy's name is Gary, and Gary was bad news the moment he comes in. What did you think about that scene where they're giving birth and Gary just comes and starts to, take off the blinds from the windows and then...
Although they already given birth.
They've already given birth, yes.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting that. That was like too brutal of him.
It was, and then he kills the old woman with the scissors.
I was expecting it, but I was thinking ki Sandra Bullock kaise bach gayi?
Because she has to take the rest of the film.
I know, but like it's again super convenient. You have the scissors.
Right.
If you want to kill people, you can just stab them. Or maybe the whole point is that he doesn't want to kill people. He wants them to see the thing and then die on their own. Yeah. He can't just shoot people. Like but he was shooting the other guy.
But I don't think he had a gun on him.
Remember the guy, Tom, he was trying to a fight broke down and they were both fighting. And the whole point was not to see the beautiful thing anymore. It was just to
Alright, no, it's just Sandra Bullock had to survive because she's getting the paycheck. But up until this point, I was still very on board with the film.
I'm still on board with the film, but now that we're talking about it, I feel like, convenient plot.
The moment they do the 5 year later time jump, I've even made a note where I'm like, film loses steam after the time jump.
Oh my god, that is true.
It's
just unbelievable that they're on the same boat for 48 hours and more. It's just unbelievable.
No, even before that, where in 5 years they've learnt everything.
How the kids not getting seasick? How's nobody like, Mom, can I puke?
even before they go on the boat, that little montage where it's like, listen to the Stones, where it's like the impression given is that they figured out everything's happening, and she's named them boy and girl.
Yeah, maybe, but because they were living in that house for 5 years, and this is when they after, and also because they show that Sandra Bullock keeps going to other houses to find new techniques so boy and girl can find each other and
but do you find apart from this whole detachment nature of hers, do you guys have any other reason why she would name them boy and girl?
Because I think she just thinks there's no point in giving anyone individuality because everyone's dying anyway. The world has gone to waste. So,
but maybe whatever little bit time they have left.
No, but that's the thing. When the father
the
father is telling them the story, she's like, "Why are you giving them hope that there's gonna be that they'll play with other children?" She just wants to keep them very no aspirations at all.
Yeah, that reminds me of the movie The Room. Remember?
I remember Room.
Because this guy.
It's not The Room. The Room was was a really bad disaster artist film. It's called Room.
Yeah, where basically this person thinks because they've always been inside this room, they think this is the world.
You should watch that movie. I think it's on Amazon.
Horror?
It's not horror.
It's a different movie.
It's for the first half of the film, this mother and son are trapped in a room, and then the aftermath, they're broken out, and how that affects their life after that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but I think detachment is a major factor. Also, because even when she's pregnant, she keeps saying that, I've been diagnosed with this condition, and throughout this, she doesn't have any love. It's not like after this apocalypse broke down, she was like, maybe now we should get.
No, but that's the whole arc.
That's the entire arc, which is why she's stronger than the soft person who was like Daniel. Imagine if Sandra Bullock was also a softie.
That's
I'd
true.
be like,
yeah.
so.
But I actually really liked Sandra Bullock in the movie. I think she committed to the role. She does very well. Also, for a star to agree for a movie where for half a movie, half her face would be hidden, I think was pretty decent.
You know what I didn't like about this? This is the second half. When they're on the boat and, she puts them under the blanket and she's talking to them, and there's this point where they reach the rapids.
Oh, yeah. And she's looking at the girl like...
Yeah. And
you're not mine. I can sacrifice you.
Yeah, and I actually thought that something would happen there, and I felt like maybe the writer chickened out in that scene.
Kind of,
And she just went like, okay, nobody has to look.
Nobody has to look.
And how is that so convenient?
And yet everyone survives.
In the damn rapids. Did you look at those rapids? Those are deadly.
And they all fall out of the
they
boat.
fall out and they still survive. I'm like, how are you kids so what's the word? How do you have these skills? First of all, you're on the boat for 48 hours. Nobody pukes. You're not even shown eating food. Are they surviving on?
No, but she finds there is this one bit where one of the boy falls into the water, and he, along with him, he takes the bag of stuff that they're carrying. But then she bumps into another boat or something. So I'm assuming she gets the supplies from what's left over on the boat. She bumps, they're blindfolded, so she's rowing back and she bumps into another vehicle which is floating on the water. And then the boy falls into the water. She gets the boy back, but the supplies are gone. But I'm assuming she gets the supplies from the other
I feel like you're assuming it wrong. I remember she stops at an island, remember? And then to get the food.
That was actually very well done, where she wears the string thing to go there. That was very well, but I think before that
I don't remember bumping into a boat.
Yeah, even I would remember this.
There is this steamer kind of thing that's floating, which she bumps into.
No, I remember that's the guy. There is a guy who tries to meet the
after that and before she goes to that island, there is that little
what?
bit.
I need to watch this again.
Did Netflix not add that thing for you guys?
Just that scene.
But if you also don't remember seeing the scene, guys, tweet to us. Are we all going insane?
Maybe you guys were blind to it. Anyway,
okay, guys, I was also shook by the death of this. Do you remember this character who goes like, "Let's find out" in the first half. Let's find out if we can see this. Whatever this mystic kind of thing is true. The CCTV guy. So he has so much confidence. I was like, "Kuch to like this is a breakthrough. Maybe we'll realize that we can't see him directly, but maybe it's okay to see him like." Through
but
like
it was such a
screen.
dick thing for the rest of them to be like, अच्छा ठीक है तो तू अकेले देख रूम में हम लोग अपना काम करते हैं so that whatever happens to you. Like you should have left one guy for guard or something.
Yeah, but वो भी देख लेता ना फिर तो.
But even if one guy is not looking at the screen and just sitting as guard, that guy will still see it, and
but at least
something will happen.
He'll see something happening. He'll probably get right in time, unplug the computer or something.
I think once you see it, you're gone.
Abbas, you make it even a easy, convenient plot. कोई बात नहीं आँखें छपा के like just blink twice and it'll be fine. Then it'll be a super convenient movie. Just
also,
put some eye drops.
I felt bad for the guy who wanted to write a novel and then he had to sacrifice himself in the grocery store.
Oh.
Yeah, that was sad.
And then the bald guy says, another novel.
One more novel I don't have to read. This is what they did throughout the movie, right? There's been this really dark scene where someone dies, and the next scene they try to do comedy, which was like kind of off.
Yeah, I was like, they shouldn't have done comedy.
Yeah. Some jokes fell flat, I've written.
Wait, what jokes fell flat about?
So right after this scene where in the grocery store, the guy dies and he's like, I don't have to read a novel. And Sandra Bullock is like, he saved our life, you asshole. And then the next scene, it's just John Malkovich and Sandra Bullock, and she makes a joke about how her father used to be abusive to her, and he's like, I'm similar. And she's like, well, not that similar. He had hair. And I'm like, dude, someone died like the same day. And you're making joke about the fact that, hey, now we're buddies now because I made a hair joke with you.
I can't believe it. And it's also a hair joke, which doesn't even bring people closer.
The same day, this guy killed one of your people you cared about, and now I guess we're friends because, well, that joke happened. So, yeah.
But they weren't really... I didn't get the vibe that
But
she
from
was
that moment on, there's no
tension
between them. Anyway, let's fast forward to the point where they've reached the shore, and then the film does one of the most stupid thing, the climax, where they get separated in the woods, and she's hearing voices, and she's just like, ring the bell and I'll come to you. That was so stupid.
What?
Like, I was expecting a better thclimax to happen. They've built up to
oh
this.
Oh my God, really?
And then there's nothing.
Yeah, there's not.
It's just like
You
we've
thought
been separated.
I honestly think the woods part was interesting, but the finale, like the climax.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that.
I still have an issue with the woods part.
Yeah.
You remember that there's this one scene where the girl takes off her blindfold,
Almost
but they
takes
don't.
it off,
No,
yeah.
she takes off her blindfold, but they don't show if her eyes. She opens her eyes or not. Her eyes are still shut in that scene. And then in the end, she's looking like they cut to Sandra Bullock with boy.
Yeah.
And she's looking for girl, and like the girl like comes to her finally.
Yeah.
And at this, when the girl comes to her, we don't know if the girl had opened her eyes earlier or not. They don't show that part.
Bird
Do you remember
Box
this?
2.
I think you're giving way more credit to the writers than.
They have done. They have done.
That's what I'm saying. They could have done something there.
They could have done.
At least I feel one of the kids should have died.
At least not both. I think the girl deserves to die. I'm sorry, she just gets out of the boat randomly.
Just because she's Olympia's daughter.
No. Yeah, I kind of hate Olympia also. How could she let the guy in so easily? I hate softies.
Anyway, so that, go ahead.
But no, I was thinking the girl should have died.
Yeah.
You
Because
got that.
do you remember when she just like the mom leaves them for 1 second and the girl's like, I'm gonna go explore this. I was like, you're blindfolded for a reason. What do you explore without your eyes? It's just.
And then finally, guys, they knock on a door and the door opens.
It's the worst thing.
Someone checks
to
their
happen.
eyes. It's like, they're okay. And then they go inside,
Oh, no.
they take off their blindfolds, and lo and behold,
It
they're
is
at a school for the blind.
God.
It was such a stupid ending.
Such a stupid ending. You know what? I feel like the ending came, like they thought of the ending first.
And, No, but
What
here's
if
the
nobody
thing.
can see? What if there is some? I think the premise of this writer would have been like, oh, so here's a movie idea. There is a mist and everybody dies if you see it except the blind. That's it. It's a movie.
That's my pitch.
That's my pitch, guys. That's movie.
But do you guys know how the book ends?
Oh, there's a book.
It's a much darker ending in the book. So they reach this community which is sheltered together.
Yeah.
And they are blind. Only difference is these guys have actually gouged their eyes out physically. So that they don't have to look at
That's
it.
a much
that's
better
the reason
ending.
they're blind.
Yeah, and in the end, the kid and the mother also do the same thing. They
Oh my
gouge their
God,
eyes
that
out.
would have been great. I would have preferred
I was
that.
expecting so much, some twist, something happens in
I
the
would
end.
have preferred the girl dying and them gouging their eyes out.
And it's just like they put a puppy in the background just to show this is such a nice, harmonious.
Oh, look at that puppy. Maybe I
didn't
can
see the
open my-
puppy.
Yeah.
There are so many memes now. So wait, I think one of the memes is you everybody has blindfolds on, but suddenly someone says, "Oh, look at that cute puppy," and they take their blindfolds off.
But so, tell me something. So, like, there's a rule.
I think they should have done this. The guy in the blue coat should have just said, "Oh, look at this beautiful puppy." I'm like, where?
They have open skies in the blind school as well, right?
Yeah, but like
So then
but
why
they
isn't
have,
it affecting the
they don't have
people
open
with eyes?
skies. You didn't see that? There's a whole shot of how it's covered with like creepers, green creepers.
So that's all that's required? The light is still streaming
Light
in.
can stream in, but not
if you
see
can't
this.
look through the window, I'm guessing looking through the creepers is also the same, right?
Are they also there? I don't know.
But there
I
are
haven't
people
figured
with
that out.
sight, like Sandra Bullock looks up. Also, I had put down, what about the night sky? We never see what happens during the night. It's all during the
Maybe
day.
because this person just goes around in the day.
So then do your thing at night.
You know
wow,
what?
yeah.
In the movie, I read an article where they said that they had initially decided to show what the people are seeing.
Okay.
Like they were supposed to be
Right.
monsters, and they even like apparently portrayed
some
it.
sketches,
They made
yeah,
some
yeah.
sketches, but they were like, it's not.
It's not good enough?
It's not really convincing enough.
I
So they
kinda
just
like-
left it up to everyone's
Okay, yeah, I
imagination.
kind of like that we just imagine whatever people are seeing.
Yeah.
There's also that scene where Gary, the blue suit guy, is portraits of this ghost when they're giving birth. He just puts
Those dark sketches.
and
he
one of
makes.
them looks like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things.
Yeah, that was super. I think anything
crossed.
sketched
on a paper looks
You're
like a
right, because I remember I watched The Shape of Water recently, I think
Yeah.
on Saturday, and that character also looks like the same. Anything otherworldly looks like the same character. Oh my
Yes.
god, that is so true. But again, the ending was so disappointing.
Yeah, I
'Cause
mean,
I was
last-
like, because a lot of things in the Quiet Place are great again, so compared to the Bird Box, but the ending is even greater. Because
I didn't really like the Quiet
Really?
Place ending.
Oh,
either.
I love the Quiet Place ending because they show you that now there are two
Don't
of them
don't
left.
spoil
No,
it for her.
No, we could.
No, anyway,
Jaanam,
yeah,
but
but
it's a better
coming
ending.
to the Bird Box ending, I feel
Yeah.
like they should have just stuck to the whole kind of dark atmosphere of the
Yeah,
movie and
yeah.
continued that till the end. This movie has a happy ending where all three
Exactly,
survive.
yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah,
Jaanam
this is
does not
very-
like any happy things, which is why you like the Quiet Place. People
I-
die.
I'm watching
One of our
Quiet
favorite
Place.
characters will die.
I'm
Ouch.
watching it.
But again, I think that's a very valid question about the night sky.
Yeah.
Because if it just means converting your nights into your days, like, oh guys, I think we'll sleep during the day now
Yeah.
and just venture out in the night,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'm literally, and everybody who hates mornings, it's a great idea.
So last 20 minutes I think really made my appreciation of the film go down. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
think it's a decent film.
I think
It's
the
a
last
decent
20
horror
minutes is
film.
when I finally took my phone. I was like, oh, alright, I'll allow to see the Twitter. I'll allow to see Twitter while I'm watching this movie. This is when I'm not into it. But it
Where-
wasn't, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, let's rate the movie.
I'd give it a 6.
I'd give it a 7.5.
Oh, that's high.
I'd give it a 6.5.
Okay.
But I don't regret watching it because I've seen.
You guys want to
Quiet Place.
know my artsy-fartsy interpretation of the film?
Keep it quick, okay?
It's
Just-
the whole thing is a religious analogy of how people who have faith, when they see God, they want others to see God also.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, as in if you see religious.
But why are they killing themselves?
No, I'm not saying it's a literal
they're
thing.
fanatics,
It's a
maybe.
philosophical analogy that the entire film is believers trying to tell atheists to convert, whereas they themselves have lost the plot.
Oh, okay. That's
And
true.
It's like the blind leading the blind.
Did you read this somewhere or you just
No,
thought
I
of it?
interpreted it that way.
Oh, wow.
Man, that's insane. What do you have to say about the whole fact? The plot is so you see this mysterious thing and you
Yeah.
do something to yourself. Why is it people want to kill themselves when it could be anything else? What if it is
No, so-
I want to maybe I just go blind, maybe I don't want to kill myself, something else happens.
So
Why
how
are
I
people killing each
interpret it
other?
is that
Yeah.
the woman who comes out to save the pregnant Sandra Bullock, she says
Mom,
before
don't
she
go.
dies.
Yeah, don't
so I
go.
think they are seeing their departed relatives and they just feel like they are so happy that I want to join them.
Really?
So they just kill
But they
themselves.
say it's either they see departed relatives or they see their biggest fears.
So why would
which
you want
is-
to kill yourself if you see a big? Would you run away from it?
No.
Huh.
I don't know, maybe
What was your thing?
my thinking was that maybe they see the departed relatives and they feel like don't go, as in like just to save them from going into the other world, like saving them from like not dying, basically like saving like
But they're already dead, right?
they're dead,
Huh.
but like in that moment maybe
They
they feel
think
like they still have a chance because
Okay.
the girl says, "Mom, don't go, Mom," and that's
Okay.
when she enters the car.
But then
So-
what about the person who's stabbing her neck with the scissors, or the one, the way everyone dies, right? The way the aggression with which they kill themselves is not really it's not all the time that they've seen a dead relative and they
I
want to
mean,
save.
every way of killing yourself is kind of aggressive, right?
No, but I mean, if they're walking towards
Yeah.
like mom or
Yeah.
dead
Yeah.
relative, they would at least smile.
with like
have some.
with like the other pregnant girl, she just comes out of the window without like even saying anything.
Yeah, and
we don't know what she saw.
does it so aggressively. Like throughout the movie, we see not like a hint of aggression.
Yeah,
in her,
that
and
would have
she's-
been great to just like get into the fact what people see.
Yeah.
Because Sandra Bullock sees the character that she can figure it out. Again, it's a convenient plot. Maybe if they
Yeah.
would have given it a
It's
like
saving on budget by not doing SFX
yeah.
for a monster.
Looks like Tom and Sandra Bullock had 5 years. What did you do if you did not figure out what this mysterious thing is?
Yeah, also I think regarding the ending, wouldn't this come to notice earlier on? There must have been blind people when it broke out.
Yeah.
So there's something must have come out in the news or whatever regarding the fact that if you're blind, you're safe. So because it played like a reveal, like, oh my god, it's a blind school.
Which is
It's like the
super.
writer saying, "Psych, you didn't think of that, did you?"
We did the right
Maybe
in the first
Tabu should
second.
have come and just blinded everyone.
Tabu?
From Andhadhun.
Jaanam
you're doing crossovers now.
I mean, if it's so easy, you can just Google and.
But I honestly
get
think that the
blind.
writers could have thought about this a little bit more in the way that they told us what you see, what is how does this mysterious thing affect you so much that you want to kill yourself.
Yeah, because the ending doesn't really solve. It's like, so now you're going to live in this blind school.
Yeah,
like, you still
happy.
can't go out.
Oh, at least you have dry clothes now. Isn't that great?
And your gynac is also there.
What a world to live in. Dry clothes, gynac, and there are puppies. Okay, 6.5 euro, Bus.
6.
I would give 7.5 only for the first half of the film.
Man, okay, cool guys. This was our review. Did we review the movie? I mean, we just spoke about it a little bit. But it was a good movie. It's still worth a watch. You can watch it on Netflix. And thank you for listening in. And you can reach out to us on our social media. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also reach out to us personally and tell us what you think about our show, about the things we recommend, about Bird Box. Also, a shout out to S. Tarun Kaushik on Twitter, who sent us some podcast recommendations. You guys can totally do the same. Tell us what we should watch and we will review it on the podcast. You can reach out to us personally. I am at Small Talk Police on Twitter. Jaanam?
At Jaanam Diwan on Twitter.
And you can reach me at Abbas Moment.
Thank you so much for listening in. See you next time. Bye.
Look! Up in the internet! It's a meme! No! It's a cat video! No! It's the Geek Fruit Podcast!
That's right, we interrupt this riveting broadcast to tell you about our show, The Geek Fruit Podcast, where Tejas, Dinkar and I, Jishnu, talk about everything in pop culture, including DC, Marvel, Star Wars, Netflix, and everything in between.
You know how your friends hate it when you ramble about some nerdy crap and you just want somebody to listen to you? Well, sorry, there's nothing we can do about that, but come listen to us ramble and it'll almost be like the real thing. Kind of.
Listen to new episodes of the Geek Fruit Podcast every Monday and the Geek Fruit Bulletin every Thursday on iTunes, Google Podcasts, the IVM app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Happy listening, you nerds.
Family businesses get a bad rap. At one time, they were looked down on for getting rich, for being too ambitious. Today, they're still looked down on, but for not being ambitious enough. Not agile enough, not modern enough, too traditional in their mindset. The biggest brands and business houses in the country started out as humble family businesses. It's the way India has done business. Join Sonu Bhasin in conversation with stalwarts of Indian family businesses on the Inheritors podcast series by Bloomberg Quint. Discuss the highs and lows, the needs and pressure points of building a business legacy that spans generations.